After making not one, not two, but three huge signings in the January transfer window, it still wasn't enough for us to get on the score sheet in our last Premier League game. We find ourselves just 5 points clear of 18th place Crystal Palace, who we face up next in a huge relegation scrap. Before we get into that though, if you are enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe. And let's get into today's episode. And with the media on my case and the pressure ramping up here in my first season as Brighton manager, we are not taking any chances here. We're not leaving it up to the AI, we're getting stuck straight into the action here in episode 4 as we go one-on-one with our arch rivals Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park as both teams go in search of a much needed 3 points. Finds Dahoud, who's made a darting run down the centre, and finds Ben Yedder, who's also dropped off. Koku looks for Maffeo, who's in acres of space down this right-hand side, skips past the left back of Crystal Palace, whips a good ball in, and it's Matoma on the volley. Couldn't get anywhere near it, but goes for the follow-up, and it's a big save from the goalkeeper. Koku to take the resulting corner and loops it into the box, looking for the head of Ben Yedder. Couldn't find him, but Patrick Wimmer will pick up the loose ball, and he's got a second opportunity to float this one in. It's a poor ball, easy for the goalkeeper. Sambi Lokonga over the top into the path of Michael Elise, beautifully taken down into the box, looking for Andre, and he's dragged that one well wide. Dahoud into Enciso, who's picked up a lovely pocket of space, unmarked, into Ben Yedder, into Patrick Wimmer with his right. Oh, it's against the post, comes back out over the top. That was a big opportunity missed, but we've got another big opportunity to try and capitalise. It's another loop ball into the box. This time it's headed way over the bar. Lovely ball forward into the path of Wilfried Zaha, who's obviously still plying his trade for Crystal Palace here on FIFA 23. It's Andre now who tries to loop a ball back over into Sambi Lokonga, takes it down really nicely. Webster just about manages to get there as the goalkeeper can collect. Ben Yedder finds Enciso, who once again has picked up a beautiful pocket of space, and he's found Matoma. Oh, it's so poor. Enciso looks for Ben Yedder, nice touch into him, and he's beautifully taken it away into the path of a Stupinian, who's got space to run into down this left-hand side. Continues his run, whips a great ball in, looking for Patrick Wimmer. Is headed away beautifully by the defender, but Maffeo picks up the loose ball, whips it back in, looking for Ben Yedder. What a strike! It's off the line. Oh my word, what is happening? We still pick it up with Enciso. Maffeo shifts it onto his left, strikes from distance, another big save from the goalkeeper, and somehow Palace get it clear. Webster coming forward into Wimmer. It's all Brighton here in this second half as we desperately try and knock on the Crystal Palace door, trying to break it down. Beautiful ball dinked into the box, just couldn't get a head on it. It's out to Dahoud, back to Matoma, beautiful turn, he strikes, it's saved by the goalkeeper yet again. Can we get there first? No, we can't. Into Ben Yedder, end-to-end stuff here in the second half as Patrick Wimmer's got the pace to get away from Mark Gay here, drives into the box, has he got options, cuts it back looking for Enciso, beautiful piece of defending. Wilfried Zaha gets the ball played forward into him, and it's Patrick Wimmer who's chasing him back, but he just doesn't have the stamina to keep up. It's a ball into the box, Odegaard off the post, Webster can't get to it. What a save! Crystal Palace have a corner, end-to-end stuff here in the 92nd minute. They will have the last chance of the game. It's headed away by Patrick Wimmer, who's been up and down that right flank all game. Zaha blocked off again as the referee blows the whistle for full time. Wow, what a game. What a way to start this episode off. End-to-end stuff in a huge relegation scrap. I still can't quite believe we weren't able to get on the score sheet, but at full time it finishes Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0. Well, the media are asking me questions as to how on earth that game still ended 0-0. Game of the season, you wouldn't think it with the scoreline, but I still cannot fault any of my players. It was another sensational performance. We're just not getting the points on the board. Frustratingly though, it still leaves us in a precarious position, just 4 points clear of the relegation zone. And whilst this attack-minded formation has certainly got us playing better football, both of our big money new signings are still yet to get on the score sheet. So if you've got any ideas as to what I can do to try and get more goals out of this team, please let me know down in the comments below, because I'll be honest with you right now, I am struggling big time. However, speaking of transfers, with our two new midfielders in Gabri Veiga and Erkan Koku both joining the club in the January transfer window, it means we've got space to accept a bid for £7.2 million for Billy Gilmour from PSG in one of the more strange transfers you'll see this window, meaning he departs the club and takes a one-way ticket on the Eurostar all the way to the French capital. But in some more positive news, we have managed to get through to the next round of the FA Cup, getting back to winning ways, beating Oxford United 2-1 away from home. However, with my captain Lewis Dunk now also subject to a bid, this time from Galatasaray for 14.3 mil, I am very quick to reject that offer. But with him knocking on my door, worried about our league position and concerned about our ambitions as to why we're not bringing in extra players to try and improve where we are, it kind of got me thinking, with £62 million still left to spend and a matter of days remaining in the transfer window, do I need to bring in just one more player to try and lift the spirits at Brighton Football Club? And with Patrick Wimmer being our only recognised right midfielder at the club and being run into the ground playing in every single Premier League and and FA Cup games so far this season, I thought it made sense to bring in one more established player who can properly come in and improve our starting 11 and compete with him for the remainder of the season. And that man is a 25-year-old Frenchman who's racked up hundreds of appearances across the French leagues, but he's someone who's ready to test his playing power in the most prestigious league across the pond as we welcome Ludovic Blas for £20 million. He's come in and instantly recognised as a central attacking midfielder, but with me wanting to try and prioritise Enciso's development, you can see I'm going to try and change his development plan to be focused more on a right winger. But he's the perfect player to come in and add quality to our squad. He can play anywhere across the front line. He's got that something special that can hopefully kick on the remainder of our season, and it looks like in his very first training session he's immediately come in and impressed our captain Lewis Dunk, who's absolutely delighted that he's joined the club. And Ludovic Blas is going to get his opportunity to make his debut in the Premier League as we head over to the King Power Stadium for another huge relegation scrap against Leicester City. Stupinian on the left-hand side, into Ben Yedder. Nice pass into Patrick Wimmer, who plays it on to Blas, who strikes with his left. And in an instant, inside the first 10 minutes, he says hello to the Brighton faithful with a fantastic strike. Beautiful interchanging passing between three of my new signings, Ben Yedder, Patrick Wimmer and Ludovic Blas. And look at that from a tight angle, gave the keeper no chance. I'm delighted. 1-0 Brighton. Into Blas. Lovely touch and turn into Matoma. He looks for Stupinian. Finds him. Can he get the return ball back? Yes, he can. He looks for Patrick Wimmer. Tariq Lamptey's free on the right-hand side. Tariq Lamptey strikes. Big save. Dahoud into Koku. It's been all Brighton so far in the opening 30 minutes here as Blas gives it to Tariq Lamptey. Whips a decent ball across. Not enough power on it for Koku to reach it at the back post. Oh, Wimmer is just taken out there by a bad challenge. Koku also taken out, and eventually the referee blows the whistle. It's a yellow card for Wilfred Ndidi. Two shocking challenges back to back. That is a horrendous challenge. He's lucky to stay on the park. Into Lewis Dunk, who finds himself in an advanced position, strikes it with his left, and that is why he's not a striker. Dahoud into Koku. Beautiful play here into Patrick Wimmer, who just dances around two Leicester players, finds Tariq Lamptey in acres of space, whips a ball in. Looking for Matoma, couldn't get his head on it. Maddison for Leicester, lovely one-touch pass into Teremi, who strikes from distance. Oh my word, it's absolutely sensational. Well, what is it with teams and 25-yard screamers against us in this series? Everton did it first a couple of episodes ago, and now Leicester City have followed their lead. A wonderfully looped shot over the goalkeeper gave him no chance, and from absolutely nothing, Leicester have got themselves back in this game. 1-1. Oh, that's a terrible pass there from my centre-back, and Teremi now is in the box, and it's a huge save from the goalkeeper. We are all over the shop. Teremi into Maddison. Leicester now stretching away, looking for Fratesi. They are looking for a winner here. Can they loop it over the goalkeeper? Can he get there? Yes, he can. My word. Leicester have really got their tails up now. They are pressing us so high. Lewis Dunk trying to get the ball away. It's a poor pass, but eventually does manage to get it clear. Blas into Ben Yedder. End-to-end stuff here at the King Power Stadium. Patrick Wimmer to try and bring the ball forward. Going to try and go past Christensen, but doesn't have any options in the box. Turns around. Tries to let it back into the box, but he doesn't. Koku picks it up. Koku strikes from distance against the defender and Leicester get it clear. William Carvalho in the centre of the park looking for an option. Finds Fratesi out of either of these two teams. Looks like it. Well, it did look like it was going to be Leicester to win it. But in the end, the referee blows for full time. And once again, we cannot seem to manage to pick up 3 points. Another big opportunity goes begging. And at full time, it finishes Leicester City 1, Brighton 1. A big goal from Blas, who scores on his debut. And there was no doubt that the interchanging passing between himself, Wimmer and Ben Yedder is hopefully going to serve us well for the remainder of the season. But it's these silly goals we just keep conceding that are a real kick in the teeth. We're 24 games in, we've got ourselves up to 16th in the table, but now we only sit 2 points above the relegation zone. And after getting beaten 1-0 at home by Spurs, getting badly beaten 4-1 away from home against Manchester United, but fortunately managing to get back to winning ways, beating Wolves 2-1, we managed to get ourselves through the round of 16 of the FA Cup, beating Watford away from home. But with those results meaning we are now just a single point above Crystal Palace in 18th place. The press are absolutely hounding me, questioning why on earth I'm still persisting with playing Ben Yedder despite him still yet to find the back of the net in a Brighton shirt since his transfer in January, and demanding to know why I've taken a seemingly mid-table team into a relegation scrap this season. I proclaim that we've got to have our wits about us, but it's just been so tough losing some of our best players at the very start of the season. One thing we cannot get away from though, and I do actually have to agree with them on, is the struggles goals of new signing Wissam Ben Yedder. 6 Premier League games, no goals to his name, no assists to his name, and only an average rating of 6.23. He was supposed to come in and light up the Premier League and act as a wonderful mentor for Evan Ferguson, but unfortunately it seems like he's just stunted his development and struggled to adapt to the rigours of Premier League football. So with that in mind, for our last played game of this episode, he's out. Evan Ferguson is back in the starting 11 as we desperately try and resurrect our season and claim 3 points away from home against Fulham. De Cordova-Reid skips past the challenge of Estupiñán and he's got acres of space to run into here. Can he find the right man in the box? No, he can't. Into Evan Ferguson, who's come deep, turns very nicely. Can he try and release a ball out to Patrick Wimmer? That is a sensational ball, and Patrick Wimmer's got the speed to get away. Can he find a ball into the box? Yes, he can. And Ludovic Blas is there yet again. What a signing that man has been. The Brighton faithful go absolutely wild, and rightly so. Beautiful pass from Evan Ferguson. The pace to get away from the defenders from Wimmer. And Blas in the right place at the right time just taps home into an empty net to give us an early 1-0 lead. Lukic into Eze, who now seems to be plying his trade with Fulham. Tries to release Vinicius Jr. down the centre. Whips a great ball in. Big head, big save. Willian will take the resulting corner and whips a good ball in, looking for the head of Vinicius Jr. It's headed away by my defenders. Ferguson picks it up now, and he can try and streak away here and try and release us for a counter-attack as Koku picks up the ball. He tries to drive into the penalty area. He continues his run. Does he have options? He looks for Mitoma. Mitoma shifts it onto his left. Big save. Mitoma to bring the ball forward, looking for the run of Evan Ferguson. Finds the run of Evan Ferguson. Beautiful touch, beautiful turn, beautiful strike, just wide. Blas tries to release Patrick Wimmer, and yet again showing his pace and his excellence down that right-hand side to continue to burst into the box. Doesn't have too many options, and he hits the post. Evan Ferguson has come deep to try and collect. He's been involved heavily so far in this game as Blas finds Mitoma, who skips away from the challenge of the defender, runs into the box, surely to make it 2. He does make it 2. Evan Ferguson and Ludovic Blas heavily both involved again, but it's Mitoma who's put the icing on the cake. A beautiful charge away from the Fulham defenders, left them for dust, and powers a strike past Leno to give us a 2-0 lead. Koku, oh, that is beautiful. A sensational ball into Maffeo, whips an even better ball into Evan Ferguson, who was inches away from getting his head on it. Patrick Wimmer releases Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson into the box and strikes. Big save. Igor, oh, Igor, it's poor. Gave it away to Eze, who fired a brilliant opportunity wide, and he knows it. Pereira skips away from the challenge of Estupiñán really nicely. Eze back to Pereira, back to Reid, into Vinicius Jr. who strikes wide again from Fulham. Webster under heavy pressure from Willian there. Manages to wriggle away from it though. Maffeo now under even more pressure as Fulham desperately try and press high and get a goal here, but we've managed to wriggle away from all of it. And Koku now into the box, looks to strike, and he does strike into the back of the net. And that is the best Brighton goal you will see all day. The heavy press from Fulham, the calmness, the composure to get away from it, to just pass our way clear out from the back, and to release Koku to smash past the goalkeeper for his first goal in Brighton colours. It is 3-0. Game over. And that is that for the end of the game. He's absolutely delighted. It's been a sensational performance by those two men. The Fulham players cannot believe it. They've been played off the park all game. Full time, our best result so far this season, Fulham 0, Brighton 3. An almighty victory to just take the little bit of pressure off our shoulders. Evan Ferguson is rightly delighted with his opportunity to start ahead of Ben Yedder. And with some fantastic link-up and all-round great attacking play, he was a welcome addition back to the starting 11. But the more pressing matter is this man Ben Yedder. He's just yet to hit the ground running in the Premier League. Let me know down in the comments below what you think I should do with him as we head into the season finale next episode with just 10 games remaining and 4 points clear of the relegation zone. It's going to be a big ask to keep this club in the Premier League, but I'm confident it's one that these players can achieve. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you again next time.